I'm Emily Harper, 29 years old, living my dream as a senior marketing executive in Chicago. Tonight, I've driven 4 hours back to my hometown of Milfield, Ohio, population 8,246, for my parents' 35th anniversary dinner. The celebration isn't at some upscale restaurant like I'd expected, given how Milfield has changed in the 6 years since I left. Instead, it's at my parents' house, the same 2-story home with the well-kept lawn where I grew up. Through the living room window, I see my family gathered around the dining table, laughing under the glow of the chandelier my mom insisted on installing last year. My stomach tightens when I spot my brother, Ethan, pouring wine for his wife, Lauren. We haven't spoken in months, not since our last explosive argument over Christmas. I take a deep breath, adjust my navy blue dress, and walk up the porch steps to knock on the door. Before I dive into what happened when I stepped inside, I'm curious, where are you reading this from? Are you surrounded by family right now or enjoying some quiet alone time? Have you ever had to navigate tricky family dynamics like this? I'd love to know your stories. Now let's get back to that night in Milfield. Growing up in Milfield, I was always the odd one out. My classmates dreamed of staying close, marrying their high school sweethearts, and raising kids in the same neighborhoods they'd known forever. But I had bigger plans. My bedroom walls were covered with magazine cutouts of Chicago, New York, and San Francisco, cities that promised opportunity, adventure, and a life beyond the cornfields. Ethan, 2 years older, never understood my urge to leave. "Why isn't this good enough for you?" he'd ask, gesturing to our parents' comfortable home, the familiar streets, the predictable rhythm of small-town life. Back then, despite our differences, we were close. He taught me to ride a bike, stood up to neighborhood bullies, and sneaked me candy when Mom said no more sweets. But things changed when I got accepted to Northwestern University with a partial scholarship. My parents hugged me, their pride mixed with worry about the distance. Ethan just nodded and said, "Don't forget where you came from." That was the first crack in the wedge that would grow between us. Chicago embraced me in ways Milfield never could. After graduating with honors, I landed an entry-level job at Horizon Marketing Group. 6 years later, I'm overseeing national brand campaigns, managing a team of 5, and just closed the biggest client account in our department's history. My Lincoln Park apartment, small but stylish, is filled with art from local galleries and mementos from weekend trips. My friends, Sophie, my college roommate, Ryan, the thoughtful architect I've been dating for 8 months, and a circle of ambitious professionals understand me in ways my family never tried. For this anniversary dinner, I've spent weeks preparing gifts. A vintage record of my parents' first dance song, framed with their restored wedding photo, a silver bracelet for my mother with birthstones for each family member, and a rare first edition book for my father, which took months to track down. These aren't just gifts, they're bridges, my attempt to span the growing divide. The drive to Milfield feels like a journey through time. Cornfields give way to familiar landmarks. The high school football field where I cheered, not out of love for the sport, but because it was expected. The diner where I worked summers to save for college, the park where Ethan and I built snow forts as kids. Rain falls as I cross the county line, fat droplets blurring the "Welcome to Milfield" sign. It's fitting weather for the storm of emotions inside me. I love my parents fiercely. They worked hard, Dad at the local manufacturing plant, Mom as an elementary school secretary, to give us stability. They don't always understand my choices, but they've never stopped loving me. Our relationship has settled into weekly phone calls, carefully edited updates that skip the messier parts of my life, dating struggles, work stress, the occasional loneliness of the city. They visited Chicago once, please assistance, 3 years ago, marveling at the skyscrapers and worrying about my safety. Ethan didn't come along. As I pull into the driveway of my parents' house, I check my reflection in the rearview mirror. My hair is styled in loose waves, my makeup subtle but polished. The navy dress is elegant but not flashy. I want to look successful, not like I'm flaunting my city life. I grab my purse and the gift bags from the trunk and step into the light rain. Through the window, I see my dining room. Mom and Dad at the head of the table, Ethan and Lauren across from them, Aunt Margaret and Uncle William, and cousins Sarah and James. 8 people around a table set for 9. The empty chair is mine, I assume, but the sight of it makes my chest tighten. I want this night to be perfect, a fresh start for us. With a deep breath, I knock. Mom opens the door, her face lighting up. "Emily, you made it," she says, brightly, but her eyes flicker toward Ethan, her expression cautious. Dad stands, offering a small wave. "Good to see you, sweetheart." I step inside, the familiar scent of Mom's lavender candles mingling with the aroma of roast beef and garlic. I smile, determined to keep things light. "Sorry if I'm a bit late," I say. The rain slowed me down. Before I can sit, Ethan looks up from his wine glass. At 31, he still has the sandy brown hair and hazel eyes we both inherited from Dad, but his face carries lines of stress. "Well, look who showed up, Emily," he says, his tone sharp. "We figured you'd want your own space. Since you're just passing through." He gestures to a small folding table in the corner of the room, set with a single plate and glass. The silence is deafening. Lauren covers her mouth, hiding a smirk. Aunt Margaret stares at her plate, Uncle William at his wine. My cousins exchange uneasy glances. My parents say nothing. Mom fidgets with her napkin. Dad clears his throat but stays silent. "I don't understand," I stammer, feeling the weight of their stares. Mom starts, "It's just..." Ethan cuts in. "It's just that we haven't seen you in months. You breeze in expecting everything to revolve around you, then head back to your big city life. We're here every day. The real family." Lauren nods. "We see your parents 3 times a week. When did you last call them?" Heat rises to my face. "I call you every Sunday," I say, "and I invited you all to Chicago last month, but you were too busy." Ethan scoffs. "Some of us have responsibilities here. Businesses, families." I freeze, the public humiliation stinging. Sarah, my youngest cousin, looks distressed. "Ethan, don't you think—" "It's fine," I interrupt, summoning dignity. I walk to the corner table, feeling like an outsider in my own home. A young woman, Claire, who's helping serve tonight, gives me a sympathetic look. "Would you like me to get you settled here?" she asks softly. I nod, unable to speak. As I sit, laughter erupts from the main table, a sharp pain between my shoulder blades. "I'm sorry," Claire whispers. "That was messed up." "Thanks," I manage, sitting at the lonely table. "Could I get a glass of red wine? Something strong?" She nods. "Coming right up." I pull out my phone and text Sophie. They put me at a separate table. Apparently, I'm not family enough. Her reply is instant. "What? That's insane! Are you okay? Want to leave?" I consider it. Part of me wants to walk out, head held high, but I came to celebrate my parents. I can't leave yet. I stay, watching my family from afar, their laughter and closeness a stark contrast to my isolation. Claire brings a Cabernet Sauvignon. "The best we've got," she says. I take a sip, the rich, bitter flavor matching my mood. From my corner, I see Mom showing Aunt Margaret photos on her phone, probably of Ethan's son Liam, who's thankfully with a sitter tonight. Dad and Uncle William discuss fishing, their shared passion. Ethan sits with his arm around Lauren, her expensive highlights glinting under the chandelier. His construction business must be doing better than I thought. This isn't the first time Ethan's excluded me. It started subtly after I moved to Chicago. Forgotten invitations to barbecues, a missing Christmas stocking, last Thanksgiving seating arrangement that left me at the kids' table. But this, a separate table in our parents' home, is a new low. I order mushroom risotto, a dish I learned from an Italian colleague but rarely make myself. Claire hesitates. "Can I do anything else?" "No thanks," I say, touched by her kindness. "Family stuff, you know?" She nods. "I do. My sister and I didn't speak for 2 years. It gets better." My phone buzzes with Sophie's text. "Any updates? Should I drive down to rescue you?" I smile. Sophie would absolutely drive 4 hours to confront my family. "I'm okay," I reply, just remembering why I left. Milfield always felt too small for my dreams. In high school, my debate club passion and college talk earned Ethan's eye rolls. "Why can't you be normal?" he'd ask. meaning like him, content with Milfield, following Dad's path at the plant, or taking over Uncle William's hardware store. When I got into Northwestern, he stayed silent at the celebratory dinner. Later, I overheard him tell Lauren, she thinks she's too good for us now. I didn't. I just wanted something different. The divide grew when I took the Chicago job instead of returning home. Mom cried, Dad was proud but confused. Ethan said, typical Emily, always looking out for number one. 2 years ago, my parents visited Chicago. I showed them my world, my apartment, restaurants, the Art Institute. They loved the deep dish pizza. But Ethan, I later learned, was furious, accusing them of favoring me. His business was struggling then, loans piling up as I thrived in Chicago. I offered marketing help, but he texted, don't need your charity. Laughter from the main table pulls me back. Sarah's phone sparks giggles, but Mom's eyes meet mine, guilty, before looking away. Claire brings my risotto and whispers, they've ordered tons of expensive food. Steaks, lobster, 3 bottles of top-shelf wine. I raise an eyebrow. Thanks for telling me. My phone rings. Ryan. Hey, he says warmly. How's the dinner? Like the Titanic's maiden voyage, I reply quietly. They've got me at a separate table. I'm not family enough. He pauses, angry. That's ridiculous. Travis's idea? Of course. But no one stopped him, not even Mom and Dad. Do you want to leave? Get a hotel? I watch a platter of shrimp arrive at the main table. No. I brought gifts for Mom and Dad. I'm staying. That's why I love you, he says. You're stronger than they know. Claire sets my risotto down. I overhear Ethan at the main table. She's got that big city attitude, thinks she's better than us with her fancy job and apartment. Mum murmurs, that's not fair. Lauren adds, when does she visit just to visit, not for some occasion? The unfairness stings. I tried visiting 3 months ago, but they were too busy. The gifts in my car feel like a fading hope. I consider leaving, but pride and love keep me seated. The risotto is creamy, perfect, but I barely taste it. Hurt battles anger, longing fights self-preservation. Impulsively, I order a bottle of Veuve Clicquot champagne. $120, a defiant splurge. The whole bottle? Claire asks, surprised. Yes, I say, and a glass for you after your shift. She smiles. I can't drink on duty, but that's kind. Thanks. Kindness. Something Ethan and I have lost. Once when I was 10 and he was 12, our grandmother died. Ethan made me sandwiches, watched cartoons with me, promised things would get better. When did he start seeing me as the enemy? Our last fight, at Christmas, was brutal. I mentioned my promotion, and he snapped, must be nice, chasing money while we break our backs here. I protested, but he called it a competition I always won. We haven't spoken since. Claire brings the champagne, its pop drawing eyes, including Ethan's, who glares at the bottle. She whispers, they ordered prime rib, fillets, and more. They're spending big, maybe expecting me to chip in despite my exclusion. I pull out my notebook, jotting options. Leave now, insist on joining, stay and deliver gifts later, or wait and see. I circle wait and see, noting, remember why you came, to celebrate Mom and Dad. Ryan texts, thinking of you, you've got this. His faith in me feels like a lifeline. At the main table, dessert menus arrive. Mom looks at me, troubled, but Lauren distracts her. 2 hours in, I signal Claire. Let me know when they ask for the check. She nods. Soon, Ethan grabs the check, his face falling at the total. He argues with Lauren, pointing at items. Dad reaches for it, but Ethan pulls it back. Mom's eyes meet mine, pleading. Ethan approaches, check in hand. Emily, we need to talk about the bill. I sip my champagne, calm. What about it? He shifts. It's over $600. Since you're part of this, we thought you'd contribute. The audacity hits hard. Contribute to a table I wasn't allowed to join? He huffs. Don't be dramatic. It's for Mom and Dad. I know, I say. That's why I'm here. I take the check. $642. 3 bottles of $85 Cabernet. $75 appetizers, pricey entrees. My meal's separate. Anger sharpens my resolve. I walk to the main table, Ethan trailing. Emily, what are you doing? I ignore him, placing the check down. $642. Quite a celebration. Uncle William admits, we got carried away with the wine. Clearly, I reply, eyeing the bottles. I pull out my black Amex and place it on the check. I'm paying it. My gift to Mom and Dad. Protests erupt. You can't. That's too much. I silence them. I can, and I will. That's what family does. Mom's eyes tear up. I signal Claire to take the check, adding my meal and champagne. As she leaves, I say, I have gifts for Mom and Dad. I fetch the bags from my car. Back inside, I place them before my stunned parents. Happy anniversary! Mom gasps at the bracelet and record. Dad's eyes mist over at the book. These are beautiful, Mom whispers. Too much. It's exactly right, I say. Dad hugs me tightly. Thank you, sweetheart. I face the table. Family isn't about who stays or goes. It's about making room for each other, even when we're different. I've never stopped being part of this family, but you've excluded me. I look at Ethan. I know your business is struggling. My offer to help with marketing still stands. Not because I'm better, but because we're family. Dad speaks up. She's right, Ethan. This has gone too far. Mom takes Ethan's hand. We love you both, but tonight was wrong. Ethan looks at me, his defenses cracking. I hand him my business card. My email and cell. Call me. He takes it, muttering, thanks for dinner. I hug my parents, say goodbye to my aunt, uncle, and cousins. Ethan walks me to my car. Your champagne, he says, pointing to the bottle. Keep it, I reply. Share it. He nods. Drive safe to the Holiday Inn. I smile. I'm heading back to Chicago tomorrow. He pauses. We should talk soon. Yes, I agree. Soon. At the Holiday Inn, I call Ryan, recounting the night. You paid the bill, he says. That's a power move. I say, it felt right. I think Ethan got it. He says, I'm proud of you. I lay awake thinking about family patterns. Ethan and I fell into roles. Him the loyal son, me the ambitious daughter. Breaking those roles feels possible now. The next morning, I meet my parents at Marlene's diner. Mom hugs me tightly. I'm sorry about last night. Dad adds, we should have spoken up. I ask, why do you let Ethan dictate our family? Mom sighs. After college, he felt left behind. Your success highlights his struggles. That's not fair, I say. I never asked to be compared. Dad nods. His business is nearly bankrupt. He's embarrassed. I offer marketing help and investor connections. They're hopeful, but Dad says his pride is the issue. The Harper curse, stubbornness. Breakfast feels normal. Free of tension, Mom says Ethan asked for my number. Progress, Dad chuckles. I pay, hugging them goodbye, promising a Chicago visit. As I pack, Ethan calls. Coffee before you go? We meet at Stellar Beans. He's awkward, offering a latte. Almond milk, right? I nod, touched. He apologizes for years of resentment, admitting fear of failure. I offer help, and we plan a marketing strategy. He hugs me as I leave, calling me Emmy. Back in Chicago, I update Sophie and Ryan. A breakthrough, Ryan says.
I draft a marketing plan for Ethan. Mom texts, "Thank you for today. Travis is hopeful." Ethan texts, "Working on website changes. Talk Sunday." I smile, feeling peace. Family isn't perfect, but it's mine.